well.
All right. Did we all hear that? Okay.
I will have to edit this bit out because we haven't started yet.
It's not. Yeah, that's fine. I just wanted to do it before. Like, it's easier to trim than to lose anything.
All right, it's 3 o'clock, so I'm going to start this and we'll get going.
Exciting.
Cool. Mom is talking so loudly. Can you hear him in the background?
No, I've got an ice cream truck actually that's dominating my airspace right now.
Okay. All right, we're gonna hope. We're gonna hope for this. All right, I'm gonna start it now.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. So if you're just joining, we're just waiting for a few more people, as usual, to trickle in. But hi, hello, welcome. We're so glad that you're able to join us today. As usual, I will ask you to pop into the chat. Let us know how the weather is where you are. We did this on our last webinar, and it was a lot of fun to just sort of see where everyone's coming from in beautiful Southern Ontario, Canada today. I tried this last time to translate from Celsius to Fahrenheit. Didn't work, but in Celsius, it's about 23 degrees. In Fahrenheit, I think that's like 72 or 73 degrees. Not a bad day. I'm Katie. I've been usually on all of these webinars, and I'm joined today by Katrina again for our social media series part 2. We're really excited about this one. We had some incredible insights on the last one from our audience as well. It was a great discussion about leveraging social media for your business, and we're looking forward to another great day today. So I'll go ahead and let Katrina introduce herself again.
You might have, I caught what you said by you mouthing it, but you might have your audio. I'll let you know throughout. That's okay. We'll just fine. Yeah, so I'm Katrina. I'm our community manager here at Localline. So you might have seen my name pop up in our Facebook group if you're part of that, or our emails. I'm behind our social accounts as well. So yeah, I'm happy to do this. And we had a lot of great discussion happening in our first chat. We almost couldn't even keep up with the chat and the Q&A. So we did some more time for that. So that was really great. So super pumped.
Yeah, so like Katrina said, we're going to do some extended Q&A at the end of today. And that'll give our audience, you all, a chance to ask a few more questions and cover some stuff that we didn't last time. So it's about 3 after. We're gonna get started with just some housekeeping and agenda items to begin. So first, we're gonna go through a quick recap of what we covered last week, 2 weeks ago now. And we're just going to go over a couple of those basic points. I'm just seeing right here in the corner of my eye, someone's unable to stay for the whole webinar, but will you be sending a recording? Of course. Of course we will. We'll be following that up within the next 24 hours. You'll be receiving a follow-up email with the recording link, and you'll be able to check that out at your leisure and go back and see everything. So no worries if you can't stay for the whole thing. I know we're kind of at an interesting time for the West Coast. It's about noon for y'all. So if you have to head back out, no worries. So
wait, that's said, Katie, too. If you do have a question, like drop it in the Q&A. We will get to it later. You might not be present for it, but we can address it and then you can see it in the recording.
Yeah, exactly. So if you can't stick around, drop a question, head out, do what you need to do, and you'll see it in the recording. So after we do a little recap, we're going to jump into some storytelling. So that's you storytelling, tell your story. We're going to talk about building a brand through social media. And then we'll jump into some video. So this was a topic we didn't touch too much on in part 1, but we want to devote some time to today. We're mostly going to go through some best practices for uploading videos to YouTube, if that's a channel that you want to use. I'm going to quickly demo sort of how we go ahead and upload things to our channel and some good ideas there. Next, Katrina's going to take us through probably the hottest topic today, which is about ads. So how you amplify your voice through paid advertising how to do some of that. What are the easier ways to do ads? What are the more advanced ways to do ads? And we'll be taking you through a couple examples there. And then we will have that extended Q&A. So without further ado, we're going to launch right into things so that we can have lots of Q&A time at the end. Katrina's going to take us through our recap from part 1.
Yeah, so we're just going to go over some best practices that we touched on. I don't want to go, we covered a lot in part 1 that we could probably dive really deep into, but some things we just want to call attention to again are timing and consistency. So a big concern is how often do I need to be posting on these platforms? Do I need to be spending, half an hour a day, 5 hours a week? What is it? But so long as you're consistent. So if you're going to choose to spend or take, a couple of half an hour a day and post 3 times a week, so long as you kind of decide that you're going to do that and set it up front and then be consistent, the algorithm will reward you and your posts will perform a little bit better if it knows that you're spending the same amount of time in the platform each day or each week or posting regularly. Engagement is another big one. So it's not just about posting into the void and sharing something and leaving the app. Again, those apps recognize when you're spending time in there as well. So post and engage. Post content that encourages engagement, like comments and posts, and not just those likes, but stories and polls and things like that encourage your audience to hit like, comment, share it, and then you do the same. So being in your feed as well, in your business feed, commenting on other people's posts, things like that. Using hashtags is a great way to sort of flying. I know that I can get really dive into each of these, so we have so much to cover today. Using hashtags is an excellent way to get your content in front of more people, more eyeballs. So making sure to use key hashtags that other people are searching for, know that they're using in their posts. Take a look at what other people in your business and in your industry are using. Use those. We have actually, I didn't link it in here, but I will include it in the follow-up email. We had an excellent resource from Molly from Farmhouse Creative Marketing. She had a list of 125 hashtags that are specifically used for farm businesses, ag businesses. So that's awesome. I'm going to include that. Having goals and a plan is key for your social strategy. So instead of just kind of posting willy-nilly and deciding on the spot what you want to post for that day, having a strategy, knowing what you want to get out of your posts. If it's, conversions from followers to buyers, I want to get people to my store, I want to have people on my website. Just understanding what the goal is for that particular post is really essential, and it makes you, kind of gets a little bit more out of the time that you're putting into it. You're already limited time. Getting to know your audience is really crucial as well. So understanding not only your customers, but your followers as well. A lot of these platforms have insights. If you do have your account set up as a business account specifically, it will tell you where your followers are, who they are. Facebook gets really detailed and things like that with the demographics of each of your followers. So just knowing kind of what people want to see, what's going to resonate with them is really important. Using the right tools, in some cases, social schedule tools, like we use a tool called Later. So sometimes we'll schedule our posts a little bit in advance or kind of schedule them out for the week. Using Canva, for example, we use as our graphic design tool. So being able to use those to help you create your content and schedule it out and batch your time so that you're not spending, let's say, half an hour every day maybe on your social. It's important to do that on your phone for engagement reasons, but you can kind of batch your filming, editing, and scheduling, and then leveraging the right platforms. And what we mean by that is to decide which social platforms are for you. You don't have to be on, all of the above. There's so many, but making sure that you're at least on Facebook. If your audience is, really in Facebook, that's great. Go, all in on Facebook. But maybe, if everybody that you're trying to target is on Instagram, that's where you're going to put kind of all your effort. Make sure you're on Facebook, but maybe you're going to spend more of your time on Instagram. So you don't have to be necessarily, firing all cylinders on every single platform. So just understand which is key for your business and use that. And that's that. Sorry.
No, that's
a wrap. Part 1.
That was great. We have a lot to get to today. So that was a great recap of what we covered last time. And let us know, audience, if you want us to go back or talk about something again, put that in the chat, put that in the Q&A, and we can definitely circle back to something that we mentioned earlier. So another big takeaway from our last webinar was that if you're not doing anything on social media now, we want to challenge you to do something. So whether that's start on Facebook, start on Instagram, think about where you want to be and how much time you can devote to this per week. And even just those little incremental gains are going to start paying off. So that's our challenge from part one. And here's the first challenge from part two is telling your story. So we're going to go through a couple of different structures for storytelling. And then I'll show you a few examples of what this can look like. So this is probably the one that most people are familiar when they think about storytelling. So it's the 3-act structure. I'm sure we all saw this in like grade school, middle school. I know I certainly did, where you have first act 1, the setup. That's where you get, your characters established. You introduce yourself, the product or the place, so your business. You introduce that. That could be in the form of a whole post where you talk about yourself. Let's use Instagram as an example. And that could be one of your grid posts where you post a picture of, let's say, somewhere on your farm. And you say, this is such and such farm. I'm so-and-so, and this is what we do. It really sets the tone it establishes that foundation for the rest of the story that you want your social media presence to tell. When someone asks me what my first piece of advice is, what should your first post be? Well, you should probably introduce yourself. You should probably tell your audience who you are and what you do, where you're located, and all of that, right? So just like a good story, we kind of know who we're talking about off the bat. Act 2. So we have the rising action or the problem. So our main character usually encounters something that is either a challenge or a problem that needs to be solved. So if for that one, I'd love to use the example of the, even just something as simple as the hungry customer. Everybody eats. Our sales leader, Chris, loves to say in his Top Tip Tuesdays that everybody has to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week, right? That fact is not going to go away. And so in that rising action, you can look at your food, think about your food. Where are you getting your food right now? Then in Act 3, your resolution can be, look, this is where your food is coming from. Isn't this so great? This is the progress on our lettuce right now. This is the progress. If you're a meat producer, you can have photos of your cows, you can have photos of your pigs, and showing, this is the process that we go through, and letting people into that story. So for them, that's the resolution. They want to know where their food comes from. Awesome. They can see that on your channel and through your business. So we'll go to the next one. This one is more of a marketing focused one. So if that one was kind of more narrative, we all remember it from grade school. This one is something I remember from university. So first of all, you want to start with a star. So the star chain hook method. So the star is an attention-getting, positive statement. It's something that's going to catch someone's eye, and they're going to look at your post and go, oh, wow, that sounds really great. Next, you're going to follow that, and this is in your description under your post, is the facts, benefits, and supporting info. So if that star is setting the stage and saying, this is really great, your chain is saying why this is really great. And then your last piece, the hook, is your call to action, which means you want to say something that's going to push your audience, whoever's reading that, to take an action afterwards. So the example could be, we've got some great peppers growing, and it could be a little emoji at the end. And then next you could say the benefits of eating fresh vegetables are XYZ. And then the hook is your call to action, where you can say, come visit us at such and such market this Saturday to get your hands on some of this great produce. So I have a couple examples here to kind of illustrate this. So we've actually used it in some of our posts to promote for these webinars. So this one is more of, they're actually both kind of a star chain hook. So this first one starts with a statement, whether you're not sure whether to start or a seasoned pro, social media is easily the best way to promote your business. That's the start. We're saying this is the best way to promote your business. We've got some info in the middle. So the tap into insights portion, we talk about a little bit about what we're going to talk about, the when and where, and then the call to action at the bottom, register now at the link in our bio. So you give someone, this is the great thing. This is the why, the how, the what, the when, and then here's the call to action at the bottom. So go to the next one. This one is another star chain hook. We tend to use them a little bit more on our side of things in marketing as kind of a large software organization. So we're looking at a sneak peek inside our Facebook group. And remember, if someone's looking at this on their phone, that's probably all they're going to see of your description at first glance. So if you have a nice big happy statement at the top, it makes someone want to expand that and read the rest. So then you've got the middle bit there giving you a little bit more information. And this is, for everyone's benefit on this call, if you're a Localline user, we do have a Facebook group. You should go and join it. It's really great. So we've got some great information there. And then at the bottom, the CTA, join us with the link in our bio. So that's kind of in a nutshell, the two different strategies that I see the most often. I think that the 3-act structure is a little bit of a longer play. You can tell that story through your entire channel. Take some time to identify those things. So even if you want to sit down and go, okay, what's the setup? How am I going to post that? I'm going to post some pictures of the farm, of the family, of maybe our market day, of our farm stand, and give people that setting. And then maybe the rising action for your business is going to go, hey, in such and such city or township, we only have, a couple of grocery stores and they don't sell local produce. How are we going to get local produce? Well, from your business. And then the resolution, you can kind of give those status reports about, this is how this is coming. This is what we're doing today. And that's a good one there. And then the star chain hook, I like to think of like the maintenance posts. You can actually use those just as one-offs if you know that you have you want to run a promotion or you want to really highlight something you have a lot of. It's a great way to do that as well in a single post. So I hope that made lots of sense. Everybody pop a question in if you want to know a little bit more about storytelling, and we can definitely answer that. But we are going to move on to our next section now. So video, I get to keep talking. This is great. My coworkers can tell you that I love to talk, especially about video. So we'll keep this one quick and succinct, but I'm going to just take the screen back here and share a little bit about what our channel looks like on the back end and how you can go ahead and upload a video if you want to be using YouTube. And I could talk forever about YouTube and about its advantages and how you can build to getting and achieving a greater presence on YouTube and the kinds of things that you can talk about. But I just want to equip everybody with the knowledge that when you get there in your journey, this is how you're going to post and some best practices. So let me steal the screen here. And here we go. Great. Okay. So this is our YouTube channel. This is our channel content on the back end. This is what it looks like. So when you have a YouTube account, you'll be able to go in and use something called the YouTube Creator Studio. So when you want to post a video, the first thing you're going to do is head to this create button. So you can upload a video and we're going to select a file. So I'm just going to drag one of our incredible Top Tip Tuesday videos that we've been doing into this box over here. It's going to blast off or whatever it does. And then it's going to take you to this screen. So couple of things. YouTube, when someone searches for something in YouTube, it's the same, it's similar, I would say, to when someone searches for something in Google. It's going to recognize keywords. So let's say like Top Tip Tuesday is essentially a sales tip video, which is great. We love sharing these tips. So Top Tip Tuesday itself, if I use that as the title, it's not exactly descriptive. It's not exactly going to say like, oh, these are sales tips. But I think we did acquire that week. That was our tip. That's where your description comes in. So you want to make sure that you're talking about what's in the video enough in the description that those keywords can get picked up. So let's say, I'm just going to make this brief for the sake of showing y'all here, but catch up on some great sales tips for farmers selling online. So here we go. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Search engine, right? Like it's a unique social platform, and like Pinterest is that too. Like it's a search engine. At the end of the day,
yeah.
The top of those results.
Exactly. So I look at this and I've already got sales tips, farmers selling online, and selling online. So if someone's searching those things, the likelihood that your video is going to come up gets a little higher. The next thing you want to do is upload a thumbnail. So that's that first little view of the video that's going to pop up there. So what YouTube will do is that it will auto-generate a couple of different thumbnails for you that it's pulled from the video, or you can upload your own. I'm not going to do that today because it takes a little bit longer. And then if you want to, you can add it to a playlist that you have. We have lots of playlists here. We have a bunch of webinars. After a while, after it's been like a month and a bit, we post our webinars up here. So you can catch those there. This section, I always put, no, it's not made for kids. Not that it's not going to be viewable. It's just due to this Privacy Act. So no, it's not technically made for kids. So that's what we need to put on there. No age restriction, because we're just giving sales tips. Underneath, we have you can admit that you're doing a paid promotion. So some creators do that. If you're just starting out, don't worry about that. The one thing I want to draw your attention to is tags. Tags help when what you're talking about might be misspelled a lot. So for instance, we add in local line. So local line, as we talk about it, is 2 words, but some people like to search local line as all one word. So I put that in as well. It just tells the search engine that both local line as 2 words and local line as 1 word are both associated with this video. So then I might also choose some of my keywords like sell online, farmers markets, and I usually add 1 more farming. So that's going to pick that up. You don't need a million of them. It does suggest kind of like 5 to 7. Language and captions. This video has built-in captions, so no worries. So you actually don't have to do that to upload your video. Date and location, you can if you'd like to. It doesn't have a huge impact. And then usually from here, you can check at the bottom here if you have any preferences, if you want to hold potentially inappropriate comments. So YouTube itself will look at someone's comment and go, is this inappropriate or not? And it'll hold for review for you. Usually that's what we have that set to. So we click next. This is the next important point. So end screens and cards. So end screens are where, so let's just pull that up here. So you know at the end of a video, how it will send you either to someone else's video, or it will redirect you at the end in those 2 little flashing boxes to another video that person has made. That's where you can do that. So if I want to add some end cards, and click this, and let's say I want to bring someone right back to my channel. Like at the end of this one, just come back to my channel. Oops, that's the subscribe. I'll add another one here. I want to just bring them back to our channel. I'll type in local line. There we are. And so it shows me on the screen here what that's going to look like. So this is going to be our kind of subscribe button here. So that's the hover card that will show up and the channel. What I can do if I want to is add a custom message. I can rename kind of what that channel call out is going to be. And then what it will do is it'll add those to the end of the video, and you can see here when that's going to happen. So if I grab one of these and let's say I don't want that really until like the very end of my video, which is kind of about here where Chris is sort of signing off. So I don't want to have it appear too early. I can click and drag these to appear closer to the end, right there. And if you want to check out and see what that's going to look like, you can always go ahead and hit play, your space bar there, and it will go ahead and play through what that's going to all look like. When you're done, you're satisfied with that, and you're like, okay, great. At the end of my video, another one of my videos is going to appear, and it will keep people on your channel. It's a great strategy. Instead of them being sent away to someone else's channel at the end, you can control that, and they can come back to something on your channel. So these are really important to do. So I'm going to discard these changes for now and just go into add cards. So let's say throughout your video, you're talking about, I know that Chris talks about, right about here, we talk about the whole ACRE acronym that he's talking about. I could add a card here, and let's say he's done another video about it. Let's say he talks about our great success story with Melissa Ballard and Bluegrass Beef. I can click on that. And so if you've seen these before, that's going to pop out when he's talking about it. And someone can go, oh, I want to check that out instead. And they can click away to another video if they want to, or they can stay on the one that they're on. It just gives people a chance that if he's talking about something that they're interested in, for them to click away and right into that video. Again, it ropes them around, it keeps them on your channel. So a great option there, and you have some customizations here that you can use as well. So all in all, you hit save, you hit next, and then that will upload, and you'll just choose to either publish that, you can hold it to another date, so you can publish it on a different date. You don't have to publish it right away. It lets you choose that. And then you are good to go, and that will premiere. I'm not gonna go through that here, but feel free to pop some questions in about YouTube if anybody wants some tips. If you're at that point, you do want to start posting on YouTube and taking those videos and promoting them across your other channels. If you want to, we can talk about that a bit. If we want to move on, at this point, we'll move on, and I'll hand things back over. I'll stop sharing my screen here, and we will get going on the next portion of our presentation today, which is talking about paid ads, which is, I feel like this is why everybody's here. Like, this is the meat and potatoes today.
It's pretty daunting, but you know what's really daunting about it is that there is so much to say that it was really hard to kind of bring it up to like a top level intro to ads without going into so much detail, which I think is our problem all the time, or at least I know it's mine. Like, I just really want to share as much as possible, but in the interest of time, we're just going to kind of go over some best practices, some tips, and kind of how to use ads. I was just thinking to Katie, we should, because I wanted to ask if everybody wanted maybe some more information, like if this was something of interest to people, that maybe we could put a little bit more time into ads, like maybe a webinar strictly on paid social ads. But then it might be a point to just see, maybe we'll put together a poll, and you guys can let us know which portions of each of these two parts of social media you might want to dive into a little deeper. But anyways, okay, without further ado, I'll stop talking. I'll stop talking about nothing. Do we have a poll? I wanted to get a poll and see who's using paid ads right now to promote your business on social.
Or let's use the raise hand feature. So if you see like at the bottom, you have that little raise hand, like literally just raise your hand. If you're using paid ads, let's see that pop up. We have a few. Yep.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't even know that was a feature. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's a cool one. If you don't want to launch a full poll, you just raise your hand like in class.
Nice. Okay, so we're at 3. I don't know if everybody can see that, but we can see 3 participants. That's exciting. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
It's no small feat, but okay, great. We'll dive in. Thanks for letting us know. So there are 2 ways that you can run an ad on Facebook and Instagram, and this is using Facebook Ads Manager. And I just kind of want to, sorry, yeah, you can go ahead. When you're running an ad on Facebook, it also prompts you and asks you whether you want to run those ads as well on Instagram. So I might use Facebook. I really mean Facebook and Instagram. I might use them kind of interchangeably, but because Facebook owns Instagram, that's what I'm going to talk about now, but they do apply to both platforms. So 2 ways you can run an ad on Facebook and Instagram. So you're using Facebook Ads Manager. You can create a brand new ad and kind of start from scratch and say, I want to create an ad and these are the elements, or you can boost one of your existing posts. And that's something that already lives in your feed. You've already shared it, whether it be on Instagram or on Facebook, and you're just choosing to be like, this is a really great post that I need to share with a larger audience of people who don't already follow me, and I'm going to choose to boost that. Again, or you can just kind of create one and say, I need to create an ad, and we'll start from scratch. So we'll go into each of those a little briefly. So here's how to create an ad. I'm going to go over some pictures and examples, but how to create an ad through Facebook Ads Manager. I've included a link there. So you would go to facebook.com/business/ads. If you just search Facebook Ads Manager, it will bring that up as well. Right in the top corner, it'll say create an ad, that like get started. It's your very first call to action. You're going to click that, and it's going to prompt you and go through these steps. And these are the steps, the 6 steps that you're going to need to take to create an ad if you can start from scratch. So you're going to choose your objective. It's going to ask whether you want to, do you want to, is brand awareness your objective? Like, you're trying to get your ad in front of as many people as possible? Are you trying to get people to click to go somewhere else? Again, like to your online store would be ideal, or click to follow me, or click to learn more. So you want to have a very clear objective and set that as a standard for your ad. You're then going to be asked to select your audience. And I mentioned earlier how detailed that you can get with Facebook. You can go by location, you can go by age, gender, sex, you can go by, you can really dive deep and target exactly the person or people that you're looking to share your messaging with. You'll then decide where to run your ad. So not so much location, like that would be with your audience, but I'm talking about like, where's your ad going to physically appear? Is it going to be in a Facebook feed? Is it going to be in Instagram stories? Is it going to be in an Instagram post? There are so many ways. There are actually more than you think. There are different, Messenger is one. You can also do it in Marketplace as well. So yeah, it gives you a whole list of them, but it'll ask you where you want to run your ad. You would then set a daily budget. And these budgets are not to say, it'll ask you how much you're willing to spend or how much you want to cap your spend on every day. So if you say you want to spend, $5 or $10 a day, maybe for a week, it won't necessarily charge you that much, but if your ad is viewed by or clicked by people, that's when you're charged. So you really want to make sure that you are making sure your objective, your audience, and everything is very specific, and you know exactly what you want to get out of this so that you're getting the biggest bang for your buck. You're then going to pick a format, and similarly to where you want to run your ad, where you're, whether it's in posts or it's in your feed, in a post on stories, or is it going to be a static image? Is it going to be a video? Is it going to be a carousel? Sometimes you see that. I see that a lot with like shopping ads, where it's, I visited Old Navy and then I see like a carousel post of different the items I was just looking at. So something like that as an ad. And then of course, once all said and done and you've actually launched it, measuring it is key. So you can go back and see those metrics and say, okay, how many people have looked at it? How many people have clicked? And again, based on your objective. So in the next slide, I just have a screenshot. We could have gone to do a demo, but I really just wanted to show how easy it was and how it is very clear. Facebook does have it, as confusing as Facebook can sometimes be. The ads, it is very clear by step by step. This is when I clicked create an ad. I went to Facebook Ads Manager, I clicked create an ad, and this is the immediate page that popped up for me. So I forget automated ads, let's not even talk about that. So it immediately went to choose a goal. And so this is when I'm creating a brand new post. And so it gives you an opportunity, like, what do you want to do and where do you want to go? It also gives you the option to like boost. You can see you can boost an existing Instagram post or boost existing content. But again, so immediately you're going to choose your goal, which we're just talking about choosing your objective. You're going to get started there, and it is step by step and walks you through, similar to YouTube, just tells you exactly what you need to do. So on the next screen, then again, this is where it prompts you to select a post to boost. So it gives you the option, that tab there, Facebook and Instagram. It pulls up any suggested posts that it thinks maybe had a lot of engagement. The one that it generated there has 1 like, so I don't know why that was an example, but so what it'll do is it'll give you some suggested posts where you can scroll down and see any recent ones that you choose to then boost. And that's going to, again, you will still go through the steps to choose the audience and where and how you want that to appear as an advertisement. But it's just using something that already exists in your feed and giving it a call to action and a destination link, everything like that. So that is very top level how to get started, like literally physically how to create the ad. So we can get into a little bit of in terms of best practices and different formats of Facebook and Instagram ads. So initially we can look at just a static photo post. You can do a photo, you can do a bit of a graphic where you, the example here, just putting a banner on the bottom with a logo, your, what's the word I'm thinking of? You know what I'm thinking of, Katie. I'm blank so hard. Like not a mission statement. You know what I mean. Anyways.
Your slogan or whatever you want to say. Yeah, you're and just a note, these are all like, so I pulled up these examples earlier, so I'm not going to take credit. I'm going to, if they look bad, it's me. These are all created super easily in Canva. So if you haven't checked out Canva before, canva.com, definitely not a paid promotion here. It's just a really great introductory platform that gives you lots of like fun stock photos and formats for your ads. And it's so easy. You can go in, literally search Facebook ad and it will pull up the right size. It will pull up templates. There is a paid version of Canva that gives you access to a lot more if that's the route you want to go. But honestly, the free version it is really, really great for a small business. So just a plug there.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. We swear by Canva. It's really handy.
Yeah.
And then of course, always that CTA. So you can have the CTA right there in your static post, but it'll also include it in the Facebook. We'll look at an example as well of a Facebook ad, and then so a video ad. That is an awesome embed. Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to hear it. I didn't bring the audio in, but just an example.
Cool. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So this
is one of ours.
This little company, you know, a call to action, it'll have that banner across that'll prompt you to, again, learn more, read the success story, visit our online store. It doesn't have to be, and we shared this a little bit before in part 1, but video is so engaging as it is. Like it can be really informal. You can afford to be really informal if it's simply a video of you. I know how terrifying this is, trust me. Just a video of you chatting and you've included that as an ad. Oh my goodness, people will stop scrolling. I promise you. And then the next one we have an example of, do we have another video example?
Yeah, more of a slider. Yeah, you can create these in Canva. Again, really easy. They're just like literally 2 pages, one after the other, that kind of have a little animation. It might not come through with the lag, but yeah, just pops onto your screen, you know, some preserves, all of that, kind of nice. And again, so easy to create.
And just plop an animation on there. They're literally it just tells you, I want to animate this, boom. And it gives you these, preset, everything like that. So that's great. And then a carousel post as an example, where each of them, they kind of follow a certain theme. We've got calls to action. This weekend is sunflower season, join us from 7 to 3. And again, these are always accompanied by, you see on Facebook, you see on Instagram, the call to action. It gives you like the prompt to learn more and the button. So
and that's auto-generated at the bottom when you post an ad. So you don't have to worry about when you create your ad content, you don't have to like, okay, got to make sure there's like a button in here and all of that. No, like when you do that and you upload your content, your video, your photo, it's going to auto-generate all of that and give you fields to fill out when you set the ad up. So not to worry there.
Yeah, exactly. So these are some best practices when it comes to paid social ads. A lot of what you talked about, Katie, actually, when it comes to storytelling, that's also super applicable here. I mean, you kind of have the hook, you explain a little bit more about why it's great, and then you explain like how to get it, or, that call to action. So number 1 best practice is to have your ad very targeted to your audience. You are literally spending money on this post. You do not want this to flop, or at least you want it to do as well as it can. And when it comes to the goals and objectives of your ads, it's going to be conversion. Engagement, yes, but you really want to convert those folks. It's not, I mean, we're not Tesla, we're not Coca-Cola. Brand awareness is not something that we really want to afford to be spending money on. I mean, brand awareness is great, but you need to have that call to action or conversion, you know, like shop our online store, learn more, visit our website, join our email list, anything like that. So have it be very targeted, and make sure that your audience, I need to take a sip of water, or I'm going to be a frog for the next 5 minutes. So make sure that when you do and have identified that audience, that it is really targeted to them, and it's something that they would be, you know, to click. What was the, I might have talked about it before. No, it's relevant. That's what I wanted to say. So including, I have an example following this, but making sure it's really relevant. So if you include maybe the city, maybe let's say we've chosen Toronto as our location, and we want to be really specific with our ads, and we're just going to show this to residents of Toronto, or, you know, maybe in the surrounding areas. And so maybe our copy in there will be like the freshest carrots for Toronto residents, or we've been serving the Toronto community, like being very relevant to that audience. So even if you've kind of flubbed on who you're targeting, but those who are seeing it automatically catch their attention as like, this is directed to me, and I'm going to be more apt to want to click that or learn more.
If you're from Toronto, though, you'd say the freshest carrots in the 6.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I guess that would give it away, right? Making it visually appealing. It kind of goes without saying, but you do really want your post to stop the scroll. You want somebody to, you know, look at it. That's going to be the first thing. They're not really going to see your call to action right away, but they're going to see your video, your photo. If it is a static photo, making sure it's really clear, really high res, shows exactly what, or represents exactly what you're asking somebody to do. And then with a video, I feel like you're got a little bit more flexibility with videos. It's so, like I said, it will kind of stop people anyways. And if they see, you know, an informal, somebody just chatting, and even just you walking through your field, and you can be a little more forgiving, is the word I'm thinking of, with videos. So, but yeah, graphics, just make sure it's a little bit, it's clear, it's pretty high res, shows your product. You want to make sure that your visuals and your copy are aligned. So if you're going to say the freshest carrots in the 6, make sure you have carrots in that picture, and maybe not, you know, the outside of your farm, or, you know, like just make sure that they are, it's very cohesive. You have that split second to get somebody's attention, and you want them to click. You don't want them to second guess what they're looking at, and what it is that they're wanting to learn more or buy. So just making sure that everything is very cohesive. Your images align with your copy, align with your call to action. It's all one.
And if we're giving away ideas here on this webinar, if you want to, you know, for instance, take a picture of the CN Tower and put a carrot over it and then say the freshest carrots.
Sure.
I'm going to say, from my perspective, I would click on that. That would be fun.
100%. Including a value proposition. This kind of circles back then to what Katie was talking about before. So including, you know, not just we have the best carrots, or I'm going to now use the carrot, it is what it is, but including why. You know, or just having like the fresh produce is, you know, a really great way to XYZ, but including that value prop, and it's just like, okay, yeah, it's great, but here's why it's great for you specifically, or why it matters, and just including a little bit more detail there to encourage that click. And then the 6th one is having a clear call to action. Again, you want to use those action words: register, buy, shop. Facebook does come pre-set with those calls to action that you can choose from. But yeah, so you want to be very clear and direct. And if you're not just using it in that call to action button, including it as well in your copy, and that register now, click now, buy now. Yeah, you want to be very clear and direct. I've included in the next slide an example. Merlin's Meadow is our lovely example farm that we use on Local-line. So
Merlin is my dog.
That's right. That's where we got Merlin. So we tried to follow all of our rules here, but, proud to offer the Toronto community with high quality, locally grown produce every day. The photo is high res, shows a face, it's engaging, it accompanies the copy that we've had there right at the top below. And this would be like an inline post in Facebook, by the way, which is where this would come from. So you can see merlinsmeadow.ca. It'll prompt you to put a website there if you are encouraging people to click to a website. So this is all preset by Facebook. Again, you go step by step. Fresh, locally grown food is that that value prop that we're including right there. Shop Merlin's Meadow is the call to action that we've included below, but then we've also got that shop now button. So this is very clear. I know what it is I'm getting. I know why I should And so I know what I should be doing, and that is shopping now and clicking. That's ads in a nutshell. I mean, there's a lot to go. I feel almost bad, but I just didn't want it.
There's a lot there.
Yeah, it's, you know what, and it can be a little overwhelming, and there are times it is very clear and step by step, but when you have kind of maybe a couple ads running, or you want to get creative, like, you can have a lot of fun with ads, but it definitely, there's a bit of a science to it. So I hope that those, best practices and overview helped, but we might want to dive in a little bit more to ads. So
yeah, I think we might have to do a webinar on its own about ads. Let us know in the comments. After, when you get hit with a survey about this webinar, tell us in the comments if you want to see a full deep dive on ads, and we can hook you up. The other thing I'll say is that, like, as much as we talk about ads, it's like, oh, this thing that, like, there's so much to get started with it. Like, it's not a total black box. Like, it's just click through. You're not gonna get charged for anything if you just click into it and see what's there. And like Katrina said, the actual way that you set them up is really straightforward and really easy. And you don't have to have a full scale ad program. You just start with one, see what happens, measure it, see what you need to tweak, and then go from there.
Speaking of tweaking, I was going to say, I know, again, this is kind of going into the details, but when you get started with ads, what we've learned from our ad strategy, it does take Facebook a couple of days to kind of get to learn your audience and understand. So when you do launch an ad, be mindful that, like, let it run a couple of days. You're not going to see numbers right away, but it'll learn kind of who's looking at it, who should be looking at it based on the settings that you've set, and then it will start to deliver those metrics. So having maybe a conservative budget when you do set, maybe $5 a day, but it will, it'll learn, it'll tweak it on its own, and it's smart.
Yeah, it's that artificial intelligence that needs to work its magic, which is really just means it needs a couple of data points to get started. So we're going to head into Q&A. We have about 15 minutes here. So if you've been holding on to your burning question, now is the time to drop that in the Q&A. But we have a few here already, so we're going to get started. Great presentation. Well, thanks. What format of ad tends to be the most effective if you're just getting into the market to sell veggies? Sure, we'll probably both give an answer here. So do you want to go first, Katrina?
Sure. I hate to be like, it depends, but I guess it's like, where is your audience? So if you're primarily using Instagram and a lot of your engagement is happening on Instagram, maybe an in-post feed or a story, in-feed post, I'm going to say, or a story would be really engaging, and you might get a little bit, see a better ROI on that. Again, if you're primarily on Facebook and a lot of your engagement is there, having an in-feed post on Facebook would be best. The other thing is, we've switched it up. We used to kind of do primarily just posts, but we've really had success with the stories and running video formats. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Format was probably more of the question you're asking instead of where, but video. Okay. If it's format, definitely video. But again, test, like, try and maybe do a more conservative budget, like a couple dollars a day, maybe not $5, maybe run 2 and do a video against an image, and maybe do a post against a story. And that's the bet. That's what we've learned, is just like, what we kind of know what our audience wants, but we just have to actually do an A/B test and see which has better engagement, and then follow that thread.
Yeah, some of it's honestly, like, there's a lot of testing when it comes to ads and seeing what works and seeing what doesn't. If you're dipping your toe in the water and your time is limited, you know what? Play to your strengths. If you have some absolutely incredible photos of your own farm or your own produce, use those. There are lots of also beautiful high-res photos available for free on the internet for use. And go check those out. Think about what would stop your thumb from scrolling. So if you're looking at format, like photo versus video, by the numbers, video stops more thumbs. And so maybe you want to consider using video as your first ad to kind of put your best foot forward. If you're just going to be doing, running one ad, dipping your toe in the water, maybe try one of those simple Canva videos where you have one slide in, high-res photo, next slide in, high-res photo, some text, and a CTA. Very, very simple to create. Again, available for free to get that set up and see what that does. Again, think about what's going to stop your audience's thumb from scrolling. If we're looking at format in terms of like whether you want to do inline on like someone's on the feed, if you want to do that in stories, et cetera, I kind of go back to what Katrina said. Look at where people are. Look at where those eyeballs are. We shifted some of our strategy because we saw that there are actually more people looking at our stories than our Facebook posts, Instagram grid posts, or anything else. There are more people that were flipping through our stories. So we put some ads there because we know by the numbers that more people are going to be looking at that. So the higher likelihood that they're going to be clicking through our CTA. So I'd say that's probably our advice there if you're getting started to sell veggies. And I think probably goes without saying, show off your vegetables. Show the process, show the vegetables themselves.
Yeah.
That's what people are buying.
Well put. That was good. Noted that she makes soaps and bath products, and that absolutely crafty vendors and artisans and creators definitely use Local Line too, and CSAs and all different types of, we tend to summarize and generalize in these webinars by saying farmers, but yes, totally artisans and things like that. And those products are such, I love those product photos too. You can get so creative and doing, you know, oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, that's such a great point. And you know, you're totally right, Kathy. I see you there in the Q&A that a lot of artisan vendors use our platform, especially as part of markets as vendors, which is so great, and we love them. And you get this unique opportunity to show off some product photography, and you can really get creative with the way that you present your product. I'd say, like, if you're using video to promote your product, that's a great place to start. Like, video of the use of the product. Like, let's say that you produce like some soaps, just straight up like bar soap, right? So you can show off maybe a quick shot of your product in, and this is just from my side as like someone who does enjoy creating video, is show a shot of your product in context. So where do we use soap? We use it, you know, in a washroom setting. So it could be, that product could be set up with other similar products that you might also sell, but having that soap in focus in the shot is going to point to it, is going to unconsciously point to that product as the focus of the shot. And then moving on to, you know, somebody like maybe shopping at your booth, and just some video of someone grabbing some soap and checking it out and speaking with you. And then another shot of, like, you could even just like show the process of making that soap. So if you have an extra hand, if somebody helping you out, honestly, cell phone video is really great these days. If you have an iPhone, you can shoot some great easy video. Yeah, with one of those suckers. You can get them on Amazon.
I like to paint, so sometimes I'll peek into my life, and this is like, it's like 15, 20 bucks on Amazon, and it's so sturdy. And just as you work or do anything, I mean, like packing process, yes, get yourself one of these guys.
Yeah, an incredible shot. I'm thinking about soap now, and we will move on to some other questions. So, but I'm thinking about soap right now when you're actually pouring it into your molds. Using one of those stands, your phone, a cool overhead shot of that being poured. That's fantastic. Showing your audience how it's made, and then the finished product at the end. Great little quick video ad. It's going to stop someone's thumb, because it can be really pretty watching some of those soaps pour in, especially if they're colored or they have anything added to them. You can tell that I've made soap before, and it's fun. I love soap. So if you're adding anything, any coloring or anything, it looks beautiful. So artisans, I'm calling you out now. Pop your questions in. Yeah, Kathy getting another grip just to make some better videos. Honestly, they're available super cheap. I don't like to give Amazon too much promotion, but they are.
Sorry, I know, but it really is cost effective.
Yeah.
For this kind of stuff, and I don't, especially now, we've been in lockdown since April 100. I mean, so we're so limited on, it's terrible. But anyways.
But there are some tools available. I'm going to pop one question in here as well. So in terms of getting started with ads, like what is the best thing to do first? Do you identify your market first? Do you create the ad first? Like, what is the first step?
You're asking?
I'm asking you. Yeah.
Oh, sure. I would say with the creative, like, don't yet go to the photo or video or the actual content of the ad. First, beyond anything, what's your objective? What do you want people to do? And then work from there. Do you want people to simply shop your online store? Do you want them to buy a specific product on your store? Have you launched a new product? Are you trying to get rid of one? You have, inventory of something. What is your goal, really simply, and then work back. Okay, so if I want to get rid of this one product, maybe I have a lot of inventory of soap, whichever it is. Let's go with that example still. Okay, so who are the customers? Maybe somebody who buys my soap is different than somebody who buys my hand lotion, or somebody who, different than buys my carrots for my turnips. Then work backwards from there. What's my goal? Who are those people who want to buy that product or want to take that action? What image, photo, video, what is the actual content that is going to get them to stop scrolling that visual? And then so on and so forth. It's my recommendation, but if you have a different one, Katie, let me know.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'd say as well. Identify your goals, your objectives, and know what you want to do before you start doing it. I think with anything, you really have to start with an understanding of why you're doing something. I would say, if you're going to start running ads, don't just throw something into the void and hope it works. Do a little research beforehand, ask around, ask some of your friends, ask some other vendors, ask your neighbors, ask somebody, ask us, right? We're there for you. How should I get started? What should I do first? And we're going to say, ask around, see what other people are doing. Think about your market and who you want to be your target is. And identify that first, and then go from there.
Saying ask, oh my gosh, I don't want to, we've got some questions coming in and I don't want to speak over, but real quick, I'll finish on that train of thought. When you're saying ask, it's a great idea and also a good tool for engagement to just ask your audience kind of what they like, who they are, put polls in your stories, put polls in your, right in your feed and ask people to comment. So just literally asking people what they want, who they are, and that'll kind of help determine what your strategy is for ads and posts. Okay, so Sienna, something I struggle with is managing all these different tasks. I've seen certain content management systems, but I'd love your recommendations. It does seem daunting. It's a lot to manage on top of managing a business. Like, this is a whole other, arm of your business that, digital marketing is something that you don't necessarily expect to be something as you're creating. I think, Sienna, you're a creator, you're an artisan because you want to create and you want to sell the things that you're putting your heart and soul into, and then to do digital marketing on top of that. I would say, Katie, unless you have something else, but again, narrowing down what it is that you want out of social and understanding you don't have to do all of the things is really key. You don't want to get overwhelmed, but so let's start from there. Let's say that Instagram is the place that you're going to be. And that's a great tool as an artisan, just because it is very visual.
Yeah, highly visual platform. Yeah.
So let's say Instagram. Let's use Instagram. There are some tools out there like Later, Planoly is one. There's another one that I have on the top of my head I can't think of right now. So let's use just that one content management system, and we're going to run all of our, schedule and batch all of our content using that one tool. So that's going to be your go-to, download it as an app on your phone. You can schedule your posts and see your grid before you do that. And so instead of, wanting to use, you can still use Facebook Ads Manager or Facebook or the, the actual apps themselves, but maybe just really narrowing it down and say, okay, what exactly am I, again, going with the, what is my goal? What do I want people to do? What actions do I want people to take? Where are they? If it's Instagram, and who are they? It's the followers there, then kind of working backwards. You don't have to use Canva. I mean, if something, we really like to say how helpful it is, but it doesn't have to be something that you add to your, tool repertoire if it's, you don't need to necessarily put graphics together.
Yeah, I would say if you're wanting to narrow your focus, right now, pick a platform. So let's use the example of Instagram. Pick a platform. It's going to be Instagram here in this example, and pick a way that you want to create stuff. So if that just means photos that you have taken of your farm, that's the way you've chosen. Great. Put those two together, start to use some best practices, identify some hashtags that are associated with your business, and start posting. Because again, we talk about the algorithm like it's a big mystery, but what it really does is rewards consistency and engagement. So when someone likes your post, comments on your post, like it and comment back, show that you're present. And again, the platform is going to reward that and surface your posts more often for people that are searching and looking at the same things as the people that follow you. So that's one thing to consider. And then maybe your next step is you add in Canva. So you create a couple more creative posts, you add some words on the screen, you create a quick little video, pop it into Canva, and create something that way. The nice thing is you can actually attach your social media accounts to Canva. And I believe in their pro version, you can post directly from there. It's a great tool to invest in if you're just literally want to walk in, create a post, upload a photo to put into that post, into either a frame or something that, or some template, and then post it directly. You can actually do that all in Canva in one go if you want to. And that's probably one of the more simple ways of doing things. Or like Katrina said, there are platforms like Buffer, Planoly. You mentioned later as well that we use that are more social scheduling apps. And the advantage there is that you can say, okay, you know what? Every week I spend an hour on social media. I run into Canva, create a couple of posts. I run into Later or Buffer or whatever. I pop those posts in, I schedule them out for throughout the week, and then you sign off and you're done for the week. That's your consistency checked off, right? Like if that's all you can do is 1 hour, that's what I would suggest you do. Just keep that consistency up. And then throughout the week, as people respond to those posts, just on your phone, whenever you have a sec, check it. Oh, someone's commented, comment back, and just be present for your followers. And that will do, as a first step, that will do wonders. I absolutely promise you. And I figured that could be a good note to end on. We are at time now, and we don't want to go too over time I know it goes quickly. So feel free after this webinar in the survey, let us know what you want to hear about next in terms of social media. We've got a couple of resources here for you. As always, you can check out our website, localline.ca, and under the resources tab, we have a few things. One of them is the social media essentials for farmers. So that is a great ebook that we have authored and has a bunch of post ideas and stuff that you can just copy and paste, makes life even easier. And that's available all the time. So even if you're listening to this later on, that will still be there for you to check out. If you're a Local-Line customer, go ahead and join the Local-Line members Facebook group. It is different than our regular Facebook page. So go ahead and search Local-Line members and request to join. And if you are a customer, we will approve you. If you are not a customer, start a 7-day free trial. And we will also approve you to join our members group, because if you're on a free trial, then you are a Local-Line customer. So come on in, get some tips and tricks. And we're so happy that you can join us today. Follow us on Instagram. We are at Local-Line Inc. And you can check out some of the stuff that we do. And I think we have 2 events coming up on the next slide. If you want to see, I'm trying to go through this really quick. So we have our next webinar is going to be for mostly for our customers. So we'll have product update for the second quarter of the year with Katrina.
Kind of we didn't do one in Q1. So this is kind of like what we've been working on so far, and then what's to come, looking ahead for the rest of the year. So what you can anticipate to or
get a sneak peek of what's going on. That's great. And then with Corinna Bench, we're doing a collaboration for her Instagram Stories Challenge. So that's from June 14th to 19th. Stay tuned for that. Follow us, follow Corinna as well. She does have an Instagram presence now. So
she's at my
search. Yeah, My Digital Farmer, at My Digital Farmer, I believe is her handle. So go ahead, give her a follow as well, and stay tuned for that content. There'll be some great tips and tricks coming from that. All right. Well, thanks everybody. And we are so happy that you joined us today. Thank you, Katrina. And thank you, Nina, in the background for flipping our slides along. We appreciate you. And feel free to contact us with any questions. So we will see you next time.
Thanks all. Bye.
Take care.